Happy Wednesday, everybody. Lots of reasons to be happy today. So let's have a really happy practice in order to celebrate. We'll come onto our backs. You can go nice and slow here. Lying down on your mat, lying down on your back, getting comfortable. Bring your knees into your chest and start drawing little circles with your lower back. So you're really trying to fill your whole lower back with that circle. You're going nice and slow here. It's a good way to check in with your body. And then start going the other way around. Perfect. And then coming to stillness, bring your feet onto the mat and let those legs slide out long. So we're going to start out in Shavasana today. You can relax your arms on your sides or maybe bring them onto your belly. I like framing my belly button, so you're bringing your hands into this little shape where your thumbs are touching and your index fingers are touching. And then you can put that little triangle onto your belly with your belly button in the middle. If your eyes are not closed yet, gently close your eyes and start directing your breath. So we're trying to have it directional breathing, with your inhale being directed down into your belly and your exhale moving up. So see if every inhale you can direct into your belly, feeling your belly rise up. And your exhale, letting it go all the way up through your chest and out of your mouth or nose. Make sure you're relaxing those shoulders down. Soft bend in your elbows. Toes are falling out to the sides. Setting a nice foundation for your practice here. Remembering that this quiet time, this time where we stand still and where we enjoy or just learn how to be still, is just as valuable as when we do planks or any kind of twists or bending. All those things have value. Being still is one of them. And then slowly start wiggling your toes, start wiggling your fingers. Let those arms move over your head on the ground. Bring your feet together, giving yourself a big stretch. And then slowly slide your knees in, bring them into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. Then bring your hands to your knees. Start leading your knees away from your body and then all the way out, doing a big hip circle. Bring them all the way back in together. Guide your knees out away and do that outwards circle. Then just keep moving. You can use your inhale when your knees move out and away, and your exhale when you open up in your circle. Go nice and slow here. If there's any popping or cracking in your hips, that's a good thing. Let's do 2 more circles like that. And then with your knees back in, we will reverse this. So you will start here with your knees in, go out with your knees, open them up, and then bring your knees together out. So you're ending up with your arms extended. And then bring your knees back in. Draw that circle outwards all the way up and away from you, bringing your knees together and back in. Maybe this time doing your inhale when you're doing your circle, and your exhale when you bring your knees back towards your chest. Do 2 more. And then slowly bring your feet back onto the mat. I'm gonna take my socks off. If you have socks on, I recommend you take them off too so you don't slip anymore, unless you have non-slip socks on. And then see if you can gently lift your tail up, tuck your tail under, and then slowly lower all the way back down. So your lower back is filling out the mat. If I were to walk around and try to bring my hands underneath your lower backs, I would not be able to get my hands through because your lower back is really pushing down. And then your feet are about hip width apart. You can bring your feet in to the point where your fingertips are touching your heels. If that is not happening for you today, that's totally okay. And then from here, with your next exhale, by keeping that tail tucked under, start lifting your hips up, coming into a little bridge pose. Squeezing your glutes, squeezing your thighs. Imagine there is a yoga block in between your thighs and you're trying to keep that block in place. Make sure you're letting your breath continue here. Nice long inhales, long exhales. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing the thighs. See if you can lift your hips up a little bit higher. I'm going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lowering down vertebra by vertebra so you can feel almost like you're rolling yourself out onto the mat. Nice and smooth, like a little wave rolling in. Take a breath here. And then with your next exhale, come back up with your hips as high as you can, squeezing that block in between your thighs, the imaginary block. Maybe coming a little bit up higher onto your shoulders. So you can lift your chest up higher by bringing your shoulders inwards. Make sure your belly stays engaged so your navel is pulling inwards, even here. Keep lifting those hips up higher, squeezing your glutes. We're building some strength, but we're also just warming up nicely. Remember to also come back to your breath. The most powerful tool. See if you can lift those hips up a little bit higher. We're going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly roll all the way back down, vertebra by vertebra. Make sure you're bringing your whole lower back onto the mat. We're going to do this one more time. So with your next exhale, when you're ready, lift those hips back up. Start squeezing your glutes right away. Really as much as you can. Pinch, pinch, pinch those butt cheeks. Squeezing the imaginary block in between your thighs. So don't let your knees flare out. Maybe bringing those shoulders in slightly, which will lift your chest up. If your chin is touching your chest, that's okay. But see if you can maybe look up to the ceiling. So you're almost lifting your chest up, your chin up slightly. Make sure that belly button is still moving inwards, especially in back bends. We want to make sure we maintain that core engagement. Keep squeezing those glutes. Lift your hips up a little bit higher. And we're going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly roll all the way back down, vertebra by vertebra, rolling in like that little wave, letting your shoulders move out if you had them in. And then just to flush it out, we will do a couple rounds in the way that you will be lifting your arms over your head and up while simultaneously lifting your hips up with your inhale. And with your exhale, you will nicely come all the way back down with your hips, bringing your arms all the way back down. With your inhale, bringing your arms over your head, your hips up. Exhale, come back down. When you come all the way up, I recommend squeezing your glutes just for a moment. If your arms don't go all the way over your head, that's totally okay. They can even just stay up here with your hands pointing up towards the sky. Let's do 3 more. Now when you come all the way back down, bring your knees into your chest, hug them in tightly, giving yourself a big, big squeeze. Maybe feeling that stretch in your hips. And then bring your hands to the back of your legs, to your hamstrings. And we will do a couple of rocks back and forth from your hips to your shoulders, giving your spine a little massage. You can let your feet tap in the front and maybe even going all the way back into a little plow. If you're going into your plow, you can stay here for a while before you go back. Otherwise, just keep rocking back and forth. And then slowly, either from your plow or from your rocking, we'll come all the way up, cross your feet, and make your way onto all fours. Bringing your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Letting eyes of the elbow face forward. Gaze goes down, so the crown of your head is reaching forward. Tops of the feet are pushing into the mat. And then with your next inhale, let that belly drop down. Let your gaze go up. Exhale, pull your navel in, coming into your cat pose. Inhale back to your cow. Exhale, cat. And then keep moving with your breath here. Trying to keep your movement nice and slow. So you're slowing down the movement. Maybe closing your eyes. And then taking the next couple moments to do any kind of intuitive movement that feels good. Maybe you want some rolls from side to side. Maybe some rolls from front to back. Maybe you want to continue with your cat and cow. Maybe there is something different that you would like to do. And then slowly coming back into stillness. If you were here on Monday, then you know, then you've done this before. So we're gonna do a nice little stretch for the wrists. We're gonna start out with your left hand as the standing planting hand. So applying most of your pressure. And then let those right fingers first move out to the right and then all the way to the back. Imagine there's a line in between your hands and both hands are kind of touching that line, like a little axis. And one is in the negative sphere, the other one is in the positive sphere of the axis. And then from here, we will start drawing little circles with your upper body. This might be pretty intense for some of us, especially when we have very, very like tight wrists and forearms. So those circles can be teeny tiny. And then start going the other way around. And then coming back to center. Let those right fingers point back forward. And then turn your left fingers out to the left and then all the way to the back. Again, aligning them on that axis. And then start drawing your circles here. And switch direction. Beautiful. Release your fingers back to the front. Bring your knees mat width apart. Bring those big toes together. I'm going to move into beautiful wide-legged child's pose. Bringing those hips or butt cheeks down to your heels. Spider crawl your fingers out to the front. Letting your forehead come down to the mat. If your forehead cannot touch the mat, just make a pillow with your hands. So it's okay to bring your hands back in. And then see if you can focus here on inhaling into your lower back. So again, the idea is a directional breath. So you're inhaling down into your lower back and you're exhaling all the way up through your chest and out of your mouth or your nose. And then slowly come back up onto your hands. Bring your knees closer together. So you're coming back into the tabletop. And then extend that right leg out to the back. Bend your right knee so you have that 90-degree angle. And then we will do a little bit more of a hip opener, thigh up here. Heating up, warming up. You know what I'm trying to say here. You're going to use your inhale to kind of shoot that leg up towards the sky. And then your exhale to bring that knee in towards your nose. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale to your nose. Let's do this 6 more times. You're really crunching in your belly when you bring your knee in. And 2 more. Really every time shooting that leg up and then bringing it in. And then shoot it up 1 more time. And then bring that leg all the way through in between your hands. Let that back foot slide out to the back. So you're having that nice wide stance, nice wide lunge. Letting your left hip sink down into the ground, towards the ground. Trouble with my speaking today. And see if you can let your gaze go forward. Squeezing your thighs to the midline. This should enable you to take some weight off your fingers. So you don't want to be dumping too much into your fingers or your hands. It's okay if you can't really lift them up at all. Don't worry about it. We're just striving towards creating some strength here. So keep squeezing those thighs together, letting that gaze go forward or even up. And then with your next inhale, reach your arms up over your head, holding that big beach ball over your head. Pinky fingers are pointing forward. Let those shoulders point out wide. Exhale, bring your hands back down. Just slide that foot back, coming back into your tabletop with your knees underneath your hips. And then extend that left leg out to the back. Bend your left knee at a 90-degree angle. And use the inhale to shoot it up. Exhale, bring that knee in into your crunch, knee to your nose. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Let's do 6 more just like that. Remember, every time going all the way up towards the sky. Let's do 2 more. If your count is off, that's okay. You can just go at your own pace. Maybe do some extra ones. And then let's shoot that leg up 1 more time. And then step that left foot all the way through in between your hands. Let that right leg slide out to the back. So we're going for this a little bit wider stance than you would normally have in that low lunge. Start squeezing those thighs to the midline. So you're really engaging those quads. You're engaging your hips. You have active legs. Maybe this will help you come up a little bit onto your fingertips. Maybe even lift them off so you're floating just above the mat or just barely touching it. And then letting your gaze go forward, maybe up towards the sky. That doesn't have to happen. I don't like it, but if it works for your body, go for it. Remembering that I'm only giving you options and suggestions. You're the master of your body. With your next inhale, bring your arms over your head. Keep squeezing your thighs inwards. Pinkies are facing forward. Exhale, come back down. Bring that left foot to the back. Tuck your toes under here. Walk your hands slightly forward. And then with your inhale, lift your knees just slightly off the mat. So we're coming into this hovering tabletop. Make sure you're still breathing here nice and long. We're not holding or shortening our breath. If you want the extra challenge, you can lift one foot off the mat. And then maybe put it down and lift the other one up. This is just optional. It's totally okay to just keep both feet on the ground. If that left foot is up, bring it down. And then all the knees back down. Release your toes and just a couple rounds of cat and cow with those hands further out. That's on purpose. And then coming back to center, tuck your toes under. With your inhale, lift those knees off the ground again. And with your exhale, lift your hips up. Coming into your first downward dog. Maybe start walking your dog out, bending one knee, then the other, pushing the heels down. So you're pedaling it out. Or if you would like to think about it as walking your dog. Make sure those fingers are pushing into the mat, every knuckle. It's grounding down. Shoulders are nice and wide. Gonna be here for 5 more breaths. And then slowly coming to stillness. Come up high up to your tippy toes. Bend your knees slightly. And then taking teeny tiny steps. Walk your feet all the way to the front of the mat. Coming up onto your fingertips at the end if you need to. I certainly do. And then with your inhale, come halfway up. Letting your hands come all the way up towards your thighs, letting your elbows point up like little grasshopper legs. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms over your head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, raise your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Step your left foot to the back of the mat, coming into a high plank. Remember, we want the butt at the height of your shoulders. So we don't want any butts up in the air. We don't want any saggy butts. Nice, strong planks. You can always bring your knees down here if that becomes too much. If you want a little fun modification while your knees are down, you can lift your feet up, maybe cross them. There's always more fun stuff to do. Make sure your belly is being moved inward so you have that strong core engagement. Crown of the head is reaching forward. And we're going to be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. You can always bring your knees down first, but you guys know that at this point. With your inhale coming up into your little baby cobra, so you don't have to go up far. But if you do feel warm and you want to go up higher, feel free to do so. Make sure you're still breathing up here. Lower belly is pushing into the mat. Tops of the feet are pushing down. Exhale, come back down. Take a breath here. And then with your next inhale, come back up. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, back down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Then tuck your toes under, hands are underneath your shoulders. We will make our way back to down dog. You can move through tabletop, coming this way. Or you can take the challenge, push yourself up into your high plank, and then move into your down dog. With your inhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Step your right foot in between your hands. Inhale, half lift, coming into those grasshopper arms, elbows up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms over your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, raise your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift, grasshopper arms. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot to the back of the mat, keeping your right heel lifted. See if you can have that wider stance again. Let those hips drop down. And then really start pushing that right heel back. So you have a nice deep bend in your left knee, right quad and hip are slightly lifting up, and that right heel is pushing back. Start squeezing your thighs together. See if you can start lifting your hands off the ground. Start rolling your upper body all the way up. Your arms come up last. You will end up in this pretty low position, which might be pretty challenging. So if you're shaky, that's totally okay. Remember your modification or adjustment. When you have discomfort in your lower back, you can bend that back knee, align your hips under your shoulders, maybe straighten your back knee again, or keep it bent. And then from here, open up into your warrior two, sinking deep into your left knee. Check onto your back foot. Make sure the outside of your back foot is parallel to the back. Inhale, flip your left palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. With your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Push your hips back and then use your exhale to come down into your triangle with your left hand on your left foot or shin or knee or anywhere in between. Right hand comes to your right hip or maybe goes up towards the sky. Exhale, come all the way back up. You can gently bend your front knee. Bring that left arm all the way back behind you. And then bring both hands back down. Frame that front foot. Lift your right heel. Sink deeper with those hips. Keep your right hand on the ground. And with your inhale, lift your left arm up, coming into an easy twist. Maybe letting your gaze follow your left hand. Make sure that right shoulder doesn't pop out to the front, but it stays tucked in. Exhale, bring that hand back down. Step your left foot to the back of the mat, coming into your high plank. Maybe coming into your supported high plank with your knees down. Then we will all lower down to the mat, nice and slow. Maybe your knees come down first. And then using your inhale, coming into your cobra. Exhale, back down. Tuck your toes under. And then with your variation, make your way back to your down dog. Inhale, come up high onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees slightly. And step your right foot in between your hands. Step your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Raise your arms over your head. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. And keeping that left heel lifted. And then slide it out to the back again. So you have that pretty wide stance with your hips as low down towards the ground as possible. Left heel is pushing back. Start squeezing those thighs in towards the midline. And then slowly start rolling your whole upper body up towards the sky. Your arms come up last. Turning your palms inwards. That left heel is still pushing back, squeezing those thighs. Exhale, open up into your warrior two, sinking deep into that right knee. Make sure that right knee is pointing out to the side, not falling inwards. Inhale, flip your right palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Maintaining that same stance. And then with your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Push those hips back. And use your exhale to come into your triangle. Maybe keeping your left hand on your left hip, or letting it go all the way up towards the sky. With your next exhale, come all the way up, maybe gently bending your front knee. And then come all the way down, frame your front foot, lift your left heel, sink deep with your hips, keeping that left hand on the ground. Lift your right arm up towards the sky, coming into your easy twist. Maybe letting your gaze follow. Still pushing that left heel towards the back. Make sure that left shoulder stays tucked in there, under, and doesn't pop out to the front. And slowly with your exhale, bring that right hand back down. Step your right foot to the back of the mat, coming into your high plank or your supported plank with your knees down. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Remember, we want to have the head as an extension of your spine. And then next you have multiple options. You can either go back to our little dropping down to the belly, then cobra, and then up to your down dog. So belly to cobra to down dog. Or you can move through your first chaturanga. So it's yogi's choice here. Do what feels good. Do what your body needs. Modify the way that works for you. We will all meet back up and down dog either way. When you're in your down dog, start pushing those heels down towards the mat. Told you there's some issues with my speech today. Making sure you're still pushing your belly and chest towards your legs. Shoulders are nice and wide. We're always trying to create space from your shoulders to your neck. And then keep pushing that left heel down. With your inhale, lift your right leg up high towards the sky. Bend your right knee, stack your hips. Your right knee is pointing up towards the sky, making sure that the right shoulder is pushing down extra. So we don't want that right shoulder to lift up. Keep your breath going here. And then with your next exhale, bring that right knee all the way to the outside of your right arm, right elbow, letting those shoulders move over your wrists. Keeping that right foot up high. Keep breathing here. And then with your next exhale, bring that right leg all the way up towards the sky, coming into your three-legged dog. With your next exhale, bring that right knee all the way across towards your left elbow. Your elbows and shoulders are over your wrists. Keep breathing here. See if you can lift that leg up a little bit higher. And then bring it all the way back up towards the sky. Left heel is pushing down. And then with your next exhale, bring that right knee into your chest. Maybe your nose or forehead are touching your knee. Again, make sure you're still breathing here. That right foot is really pulling into your body. And then step that right foot all the way through in between your hands. Keep that left heel lifted. With your inhale, raise your arms up above your head. Exhale, bring them back down. Step that right foot to the back of the mat. And then either moving through your belly to cobra, or through your chaturanga. We will all meet back up in your down dog for 3 breaths. If you need a little break here, you can come into child's pose, which is always, always, always available. If you're in your child's pose, make your way back to your down dog. Pushing your heels down. Keep that right heel pushing down. Use your inhale to lift your left leg up towards the sky. Bend your left knee, stack your hips. Making sure your left shoulder is pushing down slightly more than your right. Keep pushing your belly towards your back leg. And then slowly bring your left knee to the outside of your left arm. Shoulders move over your wrists. Keep that left foot up nice and high. Exhale, bring it all the way back up into your three-legged dog, straightening your leg. If you're feeling discomfort in your wrists, make sure you're putting a lot of the pressure into your knuckles instead of just dumping them into your wrist itself and the palms. So really pushing all 10 fingers into the mat. And then with your exhale, bring that left knee all the way across towards your right arm, towards the outside of it. Keep your leg up high. Exhale, bring it all the way back up. With your next exhale, bring that knee into your chest. That left foot is pulling into your body. Knees moving towards your nose. And then step that left foot all the way through in between your hands. The right heel stays lifted, pushing back. With your inhale, bring your whole body up, raising your arms over your head. Exhale, bring them back down. Step that left foot to the back of the mat, coming into your high plank. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. And then moving through your chaturanga or your belly to cobra or any other modification. Also feeling free to skip it and moving straight to your down dog. Pushing that left heel down, lift your right leg up high towards the sky. And then slowly step that right foot to the outside of your right hand. Let your left knee come down. Release those back toes. We're gonna move into a little lizard here. Staying on your hands, pushing that right knee into your right shoulder or upper arm. Dropping that left hip down. If you want to have a bigger stretch, you can always slide that back leg out further to the back. And then from here, you're welcome to stay on your hands if this is already intense. Or if you want to come onto your forearms, bring your right forearm down, and then bring your left forearm down. Keep hugging that right knee into your body though. Don't let it flare out today. Just playing with this different variation. Letting that head hang down softly. And then maybe staying here if you're on your forearms. And you can do that if you're on your forearms or on your hands actually. You can bend your back knee and then getting your right arm to reach behind you and try to find a grip on that back foot. So again, you can do that from your forearm or from your hand. If you can't reach your foot, that's okay. You can just keep reaching towards it. If you are holding onto your foot, see if you can let yourself sink deeper into your hips again, and then start pulling that foot in towards your butt. And then from wherever you are, slowly bring that right hand back down, maybe back onto your forearms, maybe back onto your hands. Bringing that back foot back down. And if you're on your forearms, make your way back onto your hands. Plank your back leg. And then from here, see if you can lift that right foot first off the ground and then shoot it all the way up towards the sky. Maybe bend your right knee here one more time. Open those hips by stacking them. Maybe flipping it all the way over into a little wild thing. Making sure all 10 toes are pointing in the same direction. Lifting those hips up high. If you're in your wild thing, make your way back into your three-legged dog as if you've never left. And then slowly bring that right foot back down. Align your down dog. Pushing your right heel down. Lift your left leg up high towards the sky. And then with your exhale, bring that left foot to the outside of your left hand. Let that right knee come down, release your back toes, letting that back leg slide out further to the back for a bigger stretch. So find where you feel good. Staying on your hands. Start pushing that left knee into your left shoulder or left upper arm, so the biceps, triceps area. Letting your gaze go down towards the ground. Dropping your hips even further. And then maybe coming onto your forearms, but bringing your left forearm down and then your right forearm down. Sinking deeper here, making sure you're still hugging that left knee in. And we'll do a little twist if you want to, and if you did it on the other side, you can bend your back knee and then bring that left hand towards the back foot, maybe reaching towards it if you can't reach it just yet, or maybe finding it, holding on to it. If you are holding on to it, first let your hips sink down deeper and then start pulling that foot in towards your butt. And then from wherever you are, bringing that left hand back, either onto your forearm or your hand. Bring that back foot back down. Then from your forearms, make your way back onto your hands. Plank that back leg. And then again, see if you can first lift your leg up and then step it all the way up towards the sky. Maybe bend your knees here, stack your hips one more time. Then maybe flipping your dog on this side. If you do it on the other side, I recommend you do it on this side too, just so you feel balanced. And if you're upside down here, make your way back into your three-legged dog. Bring that left foot down. Lower your knees down and make your way onto your back. Maybe grab a sip of water. And then hug your knees in tightly. And then extend your arms out on your side. So your arms are parallel to your body. Let your head come up towards your knees. So your forehead is moving towards your knees. And then straighten your legs. Your legs will be slightly pointing towards the back, and that's okay. Keep your head and shoulders lifted. And we're gonna do some leg lifts just to burn it out at the end. Gonna do 12 in total, so 6 on each side. We're gonna go nice and slow. We're gonna use the inhale to lower the leg down until it just hovers, and the exhale to bring it back up. And then the other side. And then just go at your own pace. But remember, you're going nice and slow. And remember, you're keeping your head and shoulders and chest lifted. About halfway done. When you're done with yours, you can just bring your knees back into your chest, giving yourself a big, big hug. Perfect. If you're finishing up yours, take your time. And we will slowly move into a little reclined spinal twist. Bring your arms out into little cactus arms, so you have that 90-degree angle bend in your elbows. And then slowly bring your knees all the way over to the right. You're trying to bring your knees as close up towards your right arm as possible. And then your gaze can go up or over to the left. If you want to, you can bring your right hand onto your legs. We can just keep it in your cactus. Just something to play around and see how it feels. I like keeping my arms in cactus. Makes me feel like I'm a plant. And then slowly bring your knees back through center, and then all the way over to the left. Again, bringing them up as high as you can towards that left arm, and then maybe letting your gaze go over towards the right. And keep those cactus arms, or bring your left hand to your legs. And then coming back to center, hug your knees in one more time. And then extend one leg out, extend the other one out. We're moving back into Shavasana like we did in the beginning. Let those toes fall out to the sides. Bring your arms to your sides. So this time we're going to come into classic Shavasana with your arms out. Give your armpits some room to breathe. Palms are facing up. If your eyes are not closed yet, gently close your eyes. Let yourself move into this final And most important pose. Whatever comes up, let it come up. Try to not react to anything that comes up. Try to not judge anything that comes up. I know it's sometimes, I should rather say, it's mostly easier said than done. But try. It's all about trying. It's all about being gentle and soft with yourself. Building compassion and love towards yourself increases the compassion and love you have for others. Creating that space for yourself to be observant, to check what's happening, take inventory, but not letting it overwhelm you, not letting the emotional reactions get the best of you. And then slowly start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Bring your feet together. Bring your arms over your head, giving yourself another big, big, big stretch. And then bring your knees into your chest. Hug them in tightly, giving yourself that big, big loving squeeze. And then slowly from here, roll onto your right side, coming into that nice fetal pose, letting your head rest on your right hand. Left hand is just there to support you, pulling your knees in as close to your arms or your belly as possible. You're coming back to that original pose of safety. And then from here, slowly make your way back into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center. Let your thumbs or your hands come to your sternum, your heart space. Feeling again that connection. And slowly drop your head towards your hands, feeling the back of your neck nice and long. Maybe your chin is moving towards your chest. Shoulders are relaxing down. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be kind. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. It's always hard for me to end practice because there's always, I want to have them do this and I want to have them do that. And we should do this still. But, gotta cut it off